prayer and then the pledge to the United States flag. Reverend Miller, come on up to the podium, please, and lead us in prayer.
I'd like to extend my thanks to the pastors and pray for them to take part in this work. I appreciate it very much. I'd like to extend an invitation to all of you who live in our church sometime in Rogers Road. The 9th of next month we'll be doing a special veteran service starting at 11 in honor of my civil service as well. So anyone would like to come and go. Father, Lord, we come to you today and like to say thank you again for blessing us with such a beautiful day. We want to give you thanks for giving us the hope of salvation through your blessed Son, Jesus, and we want to thank you for all the many blessings of life that you have bestowed upon us from day to day, and for the liberty that we have here in America to worship you. We humble our hearts before you, praying that you will forgive each of us of our personal sins. We also ask you to forgive us of our sinfulness as a nation, and ask that you send us a spirit of revival in the land. Lord, I pray for the members of this court today that you will give them wisdom in making decisions for our county, that they will make them according to your will. I pray that you bless their families with health and peace and prosperity. And Lord, may we all be found in the center of your will, doing what you would have us to do when we come to call us home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Reverend Miller. I appreciate taking time out of your schedule. Thank you for showing our community. Magistrates, next on the agenda, number 4, presentation and approval of bills. Action is requested. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion concerning paying the bills as presented by the Judge Executive's Office? And Ms. Brandt, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And Ms. Sharp will present the bills from the Treasurer's Office. Ms. Sharp, good morning.
And those bills that were presented to you were dated for October the 16th for your approval.
Action is requested.
I'll make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion concerning the bills from the Treasurer's Office? Hearing nothing, Mrs. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the Treasurer's report, Ms. Sharp?
And also presented to you in your packet for the warrant distribution, a monthly revenue journal, a long-term liability and appropriation condition report, an expenditure transfer report, a revenue transfer, and a financial statement through September 30th of 2014 as reported in the Department of Public Health.
Action is requested.
Make a motion to pay those bills. Second.
Action.
Necessary to accept the treasurer's report.
Ms. Brandon, would you please read the motion?
Motion is to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Number 6, approval of the minutes from October the 7th, 2014. Action is requested.
We've already had all the mistakes that I've found. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? And Ms. Brandon, may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Mr. Rattler?
Yes.
Judge Walker?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Next up, we have presentations. First up, I want to do a little changing in our presentation. We have two very special guests today. They are retired school teachers from the Bullitt County Public School System. And I want to invite both of them up to the front, magistrates, and anyone else that wants to join me can join me down the front. This is on our agenda. Recently, the governor of Kentucky signed a proclamation proclaiming this week as Retired Teachers Week. We all had teachers in our lifetime. Some we liked, some we didn't like. But I think it's important to honor those citizens who have served our community in such a selfless manner. So, ladies, would you come on up? Miss Caroline, Miss Beard.
We outside third.
Oh, yes, Miss Linda.
Anybody else that's a retired teacher, please feel free.
This is Carolyn Dennison. She's the current president of the Bullitt County Retired Teachers Association. Betty Hester was the president, correct, at one time? Twice, she was president. And Linda Belcher is a retired school teacher herself. And president of the association. And then I have to say, at this point in time, I've reached that stage where I can retire as a retired teacher and as a judge executive as well. So I'm very honored to have been in the classroom for 20 years and served a whole bunch of wonderful children. Okay, here we go. This is a proclamation of Melanie J. Roberts, Bullitt County Judge Executive. Whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have devoted their careers to the education and training of literally thousands upon thousands of Kentucky's youth. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have retrained and or provided primary educational opportunities to hundreds of adults in the state who, for one reason or another, have fallen behind in the formal education needed for job and social skills. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers rendered valuable services in diverse leadership roles in their communities and institutions throughout their careers and continue to render such services as retirees. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers have toiled ceaselessly to improve the quality of life in the state and the nation, too often in less than adequate circumstances and for far less than adequate cost. Whereas Kentucky's retired teachers represent a tremendous pool of experience and training which remains dedicated to the betterment of society everywhere. And whereas Kentucky's retired teachers represent loyal, patriotic, and concerned citizenry. Citizenry, not citizenry. I was watching that word when I was reading this over. Citizenry, which provides a dedicated and dependable support to the leaders in our community, state, and nation. Now, therefore, I, Melanie J. Roberts, Judge Executive of Bullitt County, Commonwealth of Kentucky, do hereby proclaim the week of October the 20th, 2014, to be Bullitt County Retired Teachers Week. And let's give these folks a big round of applause.
You know, teachers have to document everything.
We were in the governor's office yesterday for signing the proclamation. We're doing a book giveaway. Thank you. This is Friday. We each one of us who wants to do it brings a book. Put our name on it, and then we take all of 22 schools. Hopefully, we'll have that many. So that's something we do every year. We donate books to the libraries.
Thank you, Mr. Barr. Thank you all for asking us. It's a privilege to be here And this word retired has taken on a whole new meaning for me because I think I'm busier than I've ever been. But it's great pride and generosity that I want to give back to Bullitt County Public Schools because they employed me many years ago, and because of that, I feel an obligation to help the school children in Bullitt County. So thank you all for asking us to be here today.
Ruth, you want to say anything?
Just thank you for
Well,
Thank you for all you've done in the past as children. We appreciate it.
thank you.
The one thing you may not know is our teachers group also contributes hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer work outside of the school system. So you may see us just about anywhere.
I can't remember the number, but it's over $1 million in services that the parent teachers around the state give, and we at the PRTA office and keep up with those hours and just to see every year what it next to. There's over $1 million in services just for volunteer work that people report, and many people retire and don't ever tell us.
No, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Yes.
No, I'm finished. Go
I'd
ahead.
like to thank you all for your service.
Just want to thank you for your years of service to our kids and the people of Bullitt County.
One thing I would say, I would do this all again if I were a young person trying to decide on a career. I think I would go into teaching again because it is difficult, it's hard, but it's also very rewarding.
The Deputy Judge Craddock, her son teaches at, it was LJ, and he's also the head coach at, so Lisa really proud of both of her sons and their home teachers. Do any of y'all have teachers in your family? Oh, yeah. And Tim, you do, your wife.
Married one.
There's lots of hands going up, lots of teachers. Anything else anybody want to say? Let's give the retired teachers a
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Fiscal Court members, let's look at our agenda. We're going to go to presentation A with Kevin Yee, our Bullitt County Clerk. Come on up, Kevin, and he's going to ask for poll worker payment. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, all of you. Wanted to take, it's that time again with the election season coming up. Did you all know we're having an election? Wanted to take the opportunity to ask for you all to go ahead and pre-approve for the poll worker pay and all the associated expenses with it, delivery, pickup, tabulators, and what have you. That dollar figure is $38,755. The bulk of that being in the poll workers and the alternates. I come to you every time asking you for this so that the judge's office has this okayed in advance of election day so that when we submit the report immediately following the election, that they can go ahead and start working on it and we can get these folks paid because they've had a very interesting and long day depending on what precinct they're in, how busy their poll is. So we've always tried to do this way. I ask for your help.
I'll make a motion that we approve this $38,755 for the election poll workers. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Brown, will you read the motion?
Yes, before I do, does it need to say checks to be cut upon receipt of the information? So that you know that it, So the motion is to approve the payment for election work in the amount of $38,755. Checks to be cut upon receipt of information detailing total costs.
Thank you, Ms. Brenda. Any questions or comments concerning the motion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Kevin. The second presentation is Angie Wilage. She told us that she would be just a little bit late. When she's not here yet, is she? When she comes in, we'll take her. Okay? We'll represent. Moving on to departmental reports. We have Director Rowan Hammond of Planning and Zoning. We have 2 second readings. Good morning, Director.
The first reading, first reading we have is docket number 2014 Z-20. The applicant was Larry T. Jackson, asking to rezone from agricultural to R1 residential. The Planning Commission heard this case on September 11, 2014, and they voted to send a favorable recommendation to Fiscal Court because this does meet the comprehensive plan for the area, and this general area has become more residential in use.
Ordinance number 14-21, an ordinance changing zoning from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 3 acres more or less located at 1251 Bethel Church Road in the unincorporated area of the county, be ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. In summary, number 1 sets forth the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2014 Z-20, is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the fiscal court of Bullitt County on the 7th day of October 2014, and set for a second reading and vote today at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 21st day of October 2014.
Thank you, County Attorney. Action is requested.
I make a motion, we accept it as presented by the zoning commission. Larry T. Jackson, 2014 Z-20.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Our second case is docket number 2014 Z-21. The applicant is Cynthia Ray Schroeder. She's asking to rezone a portion of her property from agricultural to R1 residential. This case was heard by the Planning Commission on September 11, 2014. And there were a couple of opponents to this. Their concerns were the access to the remaining property and if the property was in the flood zone. There have been the Planning Commission sent a favorable recommendation because there have been major economic, physical, or social changes within the area of the requested zoning changes, which were not anticipated in the adopted comprehensive plan, which have substantially altered the basic character of the area around this requested zoning. The general area has become more residential in use.
Ordinance number 14-22, an ordinance changing the zoning from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 2.95 acres more or less located at 1625 Beach Road Road in the unincorporated area of the county. Be it ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. In summary, number 1 sets forth the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2014 Z-21. Is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the fiscal court of Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 7th day of October 2014 and set for second reading and vote today at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 21st day of October 2014.
Thank you, County Attorney. Action is requested.
I make a motion to approve this zoning change as recommended by the Planning Commission.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Walker?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Director. Anything else?
That's
And Director Stivers with our road department, thank you all. Good morning, Director, and we have Assistant Director Mike Rouse with us here today.
Good action request on a resolution. This resolution is adopted and approved with the rural and secondary program agreement between the Bullitt County Fiscal Court and Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid. Acceptance of these roads and streets referred to within as being a part of the county road system. And authorizing the judge to sign the resolution.
Thank you. Monitor that, do
We looked over, this is a standard, that we do pretty much every year.
action is requested.
I make a motion to accept resolution 14-15 and authorize the judge to sign.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Walker?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the agreement is for $175,787. This agreement entered into in between Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Road Sector, North Prairie Roads.
The resolution gives the
It
judge,
covers it,
the
okay.
resolution
All right.
gives the judge the authority to sign the agreement.
We don't have
Unless you
to
just
vote
want to
on
read
it.
it, unless you just want to read it.
I got the white glasses this time. So that's all I got. Anything?
Would you have the sheet again?
I've got the sheet.
Okay.
This
I
time
was
sheet.
making sure.
I'll probably do. All right, I don't have anything, and I'll be just you.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Stivers.
Thank you.
Director Mike Phillips. Good morning, Director.
Morning. I have two issues that I need to bring before the court. The first is to inform you that we were notified last week that we received $37,000 from the Department of Homeland Security for our AED for the fire department grant that you all approved that we submitted back in July. The radio tower infrastructure for Hillview, we have not received rejection on, so we're just waiting to hear the disposition of that grant, whether we're going to receive it or we're going to get rejection. But we'll attend a workshop meeting the 1st of November, and we'll put the AEDs out for bid, and this will replace the old equipment that the fire departments are now carrying and giving them the most up-to-date automatic defibrillators out there. So, and then they'll be dispersed to the fire departments. The second issue that I have I need to vote on is I failed to, back in June 17th, when we approved the purchase of the 2 ambulances, I failed to put in motion that the county treasurer has the approval to cut the check upon receipt of those ambulances. The check would be in the amount of $115,643. I'm just seeking approval for county treasurer to cut that check upon delivery of the trucks sometime between the 1st of November and the last of November. They can't give me a specific date, they're just now hitting the line now,
This year or next year?
this year.
Make a motion for the treasurer to cut the check for stated amount, $115,743.
$743.
$643.
$643, I'm sorry. got it on my text for that.
115,643 upon receipt of said equipment.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, and I'm going to have Ms. Brandon read the motion.
The motion is to approve the treasurer to cut the check in the amount of $115,643 upon the receipt of previously approved ambulance purchase.
Any questions or discussion, comments on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashwell?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Roswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts? Motion carried.
Thank you.
One question, how many ambulances does this give us? Is this one coming in or two?
Two, and it'll replace two, so it'll keep us at our 9 street ambulances and then the one old bariatric truck that we have. So it'll give us 9. They'll be replacing trucks that one has 398,000 miles on it, the other one has 363,000 miles on it. So all we're gonna do is just surplus the two and put the new ones in their place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Hatfield? Good morning, Director.
Good morning, how's everybody?
Doing good.
The only thing I have is the waste tire bed is over, and it was wet. We think the numbers are down. I think we shipped out 19 tractor trailer loads. But I want to thank Martha Knox and the jail for the inmates. They sure we hadn't had them, I don't know what we did. And I want to thank Kevin and Gary Magruder for allowing us the spot to have it, the access in and out. We were able to lock it. Everything went as planned. So we are seeing over the state that the number of tires are declining. So that's a plus. So we feel around 15,000 is what we got. So everything went well. Do y'all have any questions? And I'll have the paperwork done on the household hazardous waste grant and the cane dump probably within the next 30 days, so we should be able to close both of them out, have a state's blessing, start all over.
Larry, do you know how much it costs to ship the, what'd you say, 19 loads?
19 tractor trailer loads. That will be paid for by the state, but no, I do not know.
By the state?
Yeah. The only thing the county furnished was our food, drinks, and a tent. So we didn't know where to get in out of rain, so we set up a tent. And I want to thank Russell Price for doing that. I forgot about that. That's the first time we had to do that. There was no way to get anybody in and out when it was raining. If we were slack, then we had a tent to get under. But it's an excellent program, and I hope they continue it. It's something you never know what legislation is going to do. They're showing that the tires are down all over the state and all counties, so that's a plus. Anything else? All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Director. Director Hawkins is in training, Director Miller. It's right down here. So I will move on down. Move to the old business. No old business. Under new business, we've already taken care of the resolution number 14-15. And number 2, action is requested on a FEMA lease. Registration on the okay. You want to read a portion of the name and the address?
This lease made here in the 7th day of October 2014, signed between Bullitt County Fiscal Court, Arlington, First County, Shelby County, and Margaret Braun, lessee, party of the second part, 360 Keystone Drive, Shelby County, 40165. Witness for that for and in consideration of the amount to be paid as union set out subject to the provisions here in contained. Lease was being here by lease to BC, the property located 118 Delilah Way, Shelbyville, 40165, consisting of one lot who have possession of the above stated premises for a 1-year term. This
This fee shall commence on the 21st day of October 2014 and terminate at midnight on the 21st day of October 25th, 2015. Leases are as consideration for lease and lease. Described premises, the sum of $1 per lot.
Thank you, Judge. Action, Mr. President.
I make a motion to accept this lease.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the FEMA lease? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Mr. Ladner?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Before we get to the sign-in sheet, magistrates, do you have anything you want to bring before the court? Or county attorney at this point in time? Yes, ma'am. Come on up here, Jayla Knox. Good morning, Jayla Knox. Good morning. How you doing today?
Just wonderful. Just wonderful. The receivables for, last month, 9/1/14 and 9/30/14 was a total of $11,942.71. Also, I have the contract for Southern Health Partners, which needs to be looked over by the county attorney's office, like started in, so that we can all be familiar with what's going on. This is our medical services that has been out of detention centers that has saved the county a lot of money. As far as having down a lot of lawsuits and all your 9 yards, so that is just, I know we won't be able to do anything with it today, but I just wanted to bring it before you. You don't know what's coming up. And that's all I have.
Any questions for the jailer?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jailer Knox. Okay. Okay, on our sign-in sheet, we have Mr. Dan Thibodeau. Come on up, Mr. Thibodeau. And Deputy Judge, the Deputy Judge will be the timer. Welcome. And go right ahead, Mr. Thibodeau. Do you want me to review the process?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to thank you, Your Honor, and board members, for allowing me to come up. The last meeting I was here at, I mentioned that there was a board member or vacancy because one board member's time had expired in June. And out of curiosity, I was wondering, have you found a replacement for him, or what would be the proper procedure to suggest some individuals to you for his replacement?
And I'm open to suggestions, so I'm awaiting folks to give me suggestions.
What would be the right procedure? For me to mention to you, or for me to go to the magistrate, or how would I do that?
If you want to, you can ask the magistrate.
Judge, if I could address that. The
Sure.
appointments of in-couple boards is set out in the administrative code. And where the administrative code does not speak, KRS governs. KRS 65.008 says the judge has 60 days to appoint after a term is ended. And failure to do so results in the reappointment of that board member for the full term. So the matter's moved.
Oh, okay, well, good. Appreciate that. That's it, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thibodeau.
I would like to make a statement.
Sure, can have me.
while Mr. Thibodeau was here, because I missed the last meeting, I was sick that morning, that you all had when he addressed. I want to address some of this stuff with Southeast and some of the allegations that are running rampant, to just kind of put it in perspective. Since I have been county attorney, I know I have told, everybody in my office knows this, and several that are probably part of it, that I've discussed this matter with. Southeast has been, without a doubt, the number one issue that the residents of our community have come to me to speak about that I can do absolutely nothing about, okay? There have been tons of folks over the years that have come to my office asking for things to be looked in, making incredible allegations. What we did as a result of that was to do some research. First off, I have no statutory duty that I can find that exists that gives me the right to file a taxpayer lawsuit on behalf of the people that live in that district, period. As far as criminal prosecution, the only way I can prosecute is if someone else conducts the investigation or if I am an eyewitness, because the statute is very clear that I'm considered law enforcement. Matter of fact, the Attorney General is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Commonwealth of Kentucky. But neither me nor the Attorney General have investigative authority, okay? I have filed one criminal case myself since I've been here in open court over here where an individual proceeded to practice law without a license in front of Jesus and everybody, regardless of warning by the judge, and then we had to get a special prosecutor to come in. So that's the one exception that I can think of that I've personally filed because I witnessed it. The concerns I had and we had with Southeast based upon the concerns of our citizens, my office went out and copied every public record we could find, because public record is just that, a public record. And in July of 2013, I did forward that information to 2 state agencies and asked if, upon review of that, if they thought there was an investigation to take place, please do it, and we would entertain if we thought prosecution needs to go forward. That's all I can do, okay? That was before Mr. Thibodeau was on the board. After Mr. Thibodeau was appointed to the board, I have met with him many hours trying to explain what the duties are, because he's asked me of his job as trustee, explain the KRS, explain documents that are public record. And I see no reason why that is inappropriate. I have done that. I have also referred him to several law enforcement agencies, and matter of fact, have gone over and beyond the call of duty to do that. There is a perception among some that I can initiate a criminal action on my own. I most certainly cannot, okay? If you have grounds and you want to take those, we have a grand jury that meets once a month. Anybody can go ask the grand jury to die on anything. They can also ask to investigate. This board here has asked me questions about Southeast, from everything from zoning on to various things over the years. I sit right here and said to them, and you all are aware, you could ultimately shut the district down. They could vote to do that. I don't want to for obvious reasons. I mean, people need some type of fire protection, okay? But this job is not all powerful. And I think anybody that knows me and knows what we've done the last 4 years, I have never been unwilling to take on an issue or stand for a cause regardless of political consequences. Matter of fact, I have done so many times with people telling me I probably shouldn't, but the fact of the matter is that was my duty by statute, my duty by state law, because we have case law as well, and me, just like everybody else, must follow the law. So I just wanted it to be clear, because I know what was said here at the last meeting, that the county attorney was not going forward with this. The county attorney can't go forward with this. I would love to help these people, but I can't until somebody comes forward to me and brings an action, or these folks go hire a lawyer and sue federal court on a taxpayer lawsuit. I don't live in the district. I can't do that. I'm not a member of that district. That's kind of just what I want to say is my piece on that, because I'm getting float messages from people every other day about this, and I just wanted wanted to be clear, if you could come, on what my role is in this proceeding. We don't go out looking for things. If an investigative agency brings it to us, we think it's appropriate to file criminal charges, I'm telling you right now, we will do that. If I think that it's not, it needs to be done at the state, then I will send it to the Attorney General. I have never hesitated to do that before. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, County Attorney. Next up on our list of our signing sheet is Linda Belcher. Where's Linda? Good morning, Linda. Linda, do you want me to read the procedures?
No, I don't think so. I didn't do that.
Deputy Judge.
Good morning and thank you. I'm here because I want to kind of update you on our strategic planning group. For those of you who are not familiar with that group, about 2 years ago, a large number of people, I think we had over 80 people for our first meeting, came together to start looking at strengths and weaknesses for our county and if we could make suggestions to move things forward. And since that time, I've been here several times and this report. Well, when I served as your state representative, I was able to get a certificate of need to expand Jewish Hospital and add beds. Some of you probably have seen the newspaper articles and realize that at this point, that's rather at risk. We're not sure that that's going to happen. So our committee met, and let me back up just a minute. I was contacted by Jewish to come over and have a meeting with them. And I gathered some of those people together to go with me, because I feel like it's always good to have three. And we were very concerned when we heard that there's a possibility that those beds will not happen. So then we started talking again, and I think everybody here knows we have wonderful hospitals in Louisville that cater to heart patients and cancer patients. So what we are going to propose the next time we meet with the people at Jewish is that maybe we start looking at our medical center, expanding, and having it as a center for several things. And some of the things that have come up. Geriatrics. Our older population doesn't want to go to Jefferson County. They want to drive in there. So, it's a center for geriatric care. Pediatrics. When young moms and dads get home from work, or they have to take off work, again, they don't want to go to Louisville. Maybe it could be a center. Diabetes. Could be a center for help for our diabetic problem here in Bullitt County, and our health department has identified that as one of our serious concerns. Obesity. I'm not even going to touch that one. And then co-op. Our students could use that as a training ground. So anyway, all of these areas have been identified, and we plan to go back and talk with them and say, hey, is there a possibility that you could use one of these and call this a center for that particular area? Because I think most of us know they're not going to bring a lot of doctors out here to meet all the needs in a small community hospital. So I just want to bring that before you all and let you know that we are working on it. We have a committee that's going to be meeting with them. If you are interested and you feel like we deserve, and I think we deserve that, I would suggest, first off, use their services. Is that my time? And write a letter to the Pioneer News to the editor.
Ms. Belcher, hold on just a second, if you don't mind. Fiscal court members can comment if they like. If they have no comments, then you can have a 1-minute rebuttal. Comments?
Okay, I'll read that myself.
Well, go ahead, if you want
No, I actually was finished. The thing that I want to encourage people to do is if you're interested in this happening, get on board and do something about it. If we sit on our hands, probably, possibly, we may not get those beds. We may lose that CON, and it will not be easy to get back.
Thank you, Ms. Belcher. Folks, we don't have Angie Mileage here yet, is that correct?
Yes, she just texted me and sent me saying she just got off the exit.
Okay, Well, I'll make a motion that we take a 10-minute recess, and that time Andy should be here and present the health insurance, unless there's someone else that wants to present it. Okay, my motion is to take a 10-minute recess. Do I hear a second? I hear a second from Joe Laswell. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes. Okay, see you on 10 minutes. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion concerning the motion? Hearing none, Ms. Brandon, they call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo? Mr. Bradshaw? Judge Roberts?
Yes. Thank you. Before we bring Angie up, good morning, Angie, I want to say thank you to Bridget Random. Bridget Random is our county clerk here, and today is her last fiscal court day. She's been excellent. And I think she deserves a big round of applause. And Bridget, you want to say?
I really enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun, but I've had an opportunity to, I guess, move forward in my career, and I couldn't pass it up, so that's all I'm doing. But I will miss everybody, and whether you believe it or not, I'll miss this report, because I'm really nosy. But I appreciate all the opportunities you guys have given me to know right here. Thank you.
We'll let you come back.
Oh, thanks.
Taylor, do you want to say anything?
I'll just reiterate that Bridget has taken hold of a very challenging job and has done very well with the minutes. And I look forward to Lauren taking hold of the reins, and I believe that you all will be equally well served by her. Thank you.
Kevin Mooney is in charge of the county clerk, so Bridget is his employee, as well as Lauren, and that gives me the segue to introduce Ms. Lauren Williams. Lauren will be taking over come November the 4th on providing the court records. So, Lauren, would you like to say anything?
I appreciate the opportunity, and I have some big shoes to fill that to be able to get everything done the way that it needs to be done. And if anybody has any questions or complaints or concerns, just come to me and we'll address it.
Well, I have to say something.
Sure.
Bridget only trained her one day.
No. It's more than one day. You need a lot more training.
One day in court.
Anybody have numbers of
We appreciate it. You did a great job.
Bridget, thank you for your service, and you did a good job. Good luck in the future on your new job.
I just want to thank Bridget. I want to thank Bridget for the service that she gave the county. Good job. Appreciate it.
I did on John, we've already talked.
John, they're mad at me.
you said you're
Well, I'm going to have to say that I miss Bridget because she always helps me out with my motions. I don't always get it right.
And Lauren, she needs a lot of help. So we won't be here too much longer.
That's right.
Thank you, Bridget, so much for all that you've done. You've been a great servant. And your personality is just phenomenal. So keep that personality, keep that look at it. We're going to miss you. And Lauren, I look so forward to working with you. I already know you, and it's great that you're getting this position, and I look so forward to working with you. Okay, we can give Lauren a
we're ready to hear your report. Good morning, good to see everybody. I have a handout, so if you pass that down, it'll be easier to follow.
And we did mention our insurance committee as well, so just mention the president, yes.
All right, we'll get started. My name's Angie Weilis. I'm with Brown & Brown Insurance. We are an independent insurance agency. We're actually a national firm. We're the 6th largest in the United States, and I've had an opportunity to work with the insurance committee. We meet on a regular basis, and we talk about all the elements associated with the plan, not just the cost, but also the benefits and feedback from employees, and really kind of weigh the pluses and minuses and balance how we can provide the best possible program to the employees. And so the renewal is coming up in January. There are a lot of benefits included in the program. There are a couple that have some employer sponsorship, so the county actually pays a portion of the premium. And then there are a number of benefits where the employees realize the benefits of being able to purchase the coverage through a group opportunity, but they're responsible for the full premium that they choose to purchase. So if we just talk about the coverages where the county sponsors a portion, the first one is the employer-sponsored life insurance. There's a $30,000 benefit. This one's pretty straightforward, so it's not in your handout in terms of the details. We were able, with the insurance committee's help, we were able to obtain several competitive quotes for this coverage. And the one that came in most competitive is a company called One America. They are A-rated for AM Best. And the savings on an annual basis is $5,995.08 to offer the exact same coverage to the employees. In addition to that, we offer their voluntary life insurance through the same company. That'll make it a lot easier for an employee or spouse if there's a claim that comes up, if both products are with one carrier. And we're adding a voluntary disability opportunity with this carrier as well, both short-term and long-term. Voluntary meaning it would be the employee's responsibility. So that's good news. We were able to save some dollars there. Then I'm looking at your handout that's in front of you. This is an overview of the health insurance, which of course is a little bit more complicated. On the left-hand side of the handout you're looking at, those 3 columns that are not highlighted in yellow, that is your current plan offering. You currently offer 3 different plan designs. Your current carrier is Anthem. And we were able to, if you see on the right, the highlighted, the budget increase for these benefits is a 10% increase. And we were able to get Anthem to offer the exact same benefit at renewal for a 6.5% increase to premium. So we were able to come in below budget. We're really excited about that. If you flip over to the next page, we propose, based on staying within budget, that we keep the employee's contribution for the coverage the same. As you know, the contribution is based on years of service and, of course, the plan of the coverage tier election that they elect. So this page that you see is the same that it is currently. We propose that we continue that going forward. And then the last page in your handout is an overview for you of the other voluntary products that are offered. Anthem offered an additional 1% discount to get us to the 6.5% if we transition the voluntary vision program and voluntary dental program to them. We were able to do so and keep the benefit exactly the same for dental as well as the rates, including a 2-year rate guarantee. In addition, for the vision, we were able to enhance the benefits by reducing the cost of the copay and increasing the allowances, while at the same time keeping the employee's premium the same and including a 2-year rate guarantee. The insurance committee and I looked at the networks for those two lines as well to make sure that there was good access for the employees. And actually, there were more dentists to choose from, about the same number of vision providers. To the left, you see the voluntary life. Those rates are exactly the same as the current. The employees can actually enroll in 150,000 issue, where currently it's 100,000, so it gives them a little bit higher opportunity in terms of what they can elect with no questions asked. And then in the bottom right, with the little box around it, is the new opportunity for voluntary disability. And this option actually includes short-term, long-term, and lump sum long-term disability, all at the age banded rates that you see there, that are based on 24 reductions. So I've talked through a lot of information. Any questions so far?
Does Anthem carry, let's say the word in the head. Like if you go on Medicare, it's not for you to go on Medicare.
They do. They have Medicare supplements that they
Yes,
offer
that's
on
it.
an individual basis, huh?
They do have. Would you by chance have any kind of literature on that? Or could you?
No, but I can, in the insurance market, as a broker, you specialize in group plans or you specialize in individual. You typically don't do both unless you do small group, you might do individual as well. But I have a great contact for you that specializes in individual. So I can help you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I guess the county carries an 18-month, when you lose your job, whatever that might be, that you can keep your insurance or anything.
They do. There's COBRA opportunity. We outsource the administration to reduce the legal liability for the county. So there's an administrator, we basically notify them of the terminations, the administrator here at the county, and they send out the notice allowing you to continue the coverage. And it applies to health, dental, and vision. Any other questions?
Action is needed, isn't it?
Yes, we do need to take action so we can do an open enrollment meetings for employees in different roles for the 1 on 15 effective date.
Well, I'm not gonna be here, but I'll make a motion because I understand it's cheaper than, what I think they could get anything from anyone else.
Yes, that's a good point that you made, where we did shop the carrier market and look at the different carriers. There were some proposals that were a little bit less for the dental and vision, but when you consider the fact that we got an additional percentage point off the medical, it was definitely worthwhile, and the networks were good access. So overall, the package made more sense for the county.
So I'll make a motion to accept, Brown and Brown and Blue Cross and Blue Shield as the insurance for the county.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second
motion is to appoint Anthem Insurance as the county insurance provider, on the effective date of 2015, and it's presented by Brown Insurance.
Any questions or discussion on the motion?
And one America.
Oh, I'm sorry, and one America.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Angie, thank you very much for your presentation.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt? Mr. Laszlo? Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford? Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Brandon. Thank you, Ms. Williams.